Hello friends, and welcome back to Stalker Anomaly. Let's talk about the RF receiver. I've mentioned before that a recent mod of mine adds new functionality to the receiver, but today I'd like to go into a bit more detail about exactly what that mod can do and what you can do with it. The vanilla RF receiver is a simple device for picking up radio signals, and it operates on VHF bands. From a player's perspective, all that means is that it lets you pick a frequency between 30 and 300 MHz, and it will play any signals that are on or near that frequency. The closer you are to the signal source and the correct frequency, the clearer the signal. In Anomaly, this can be used not only to find hidden stashes, but to detect the presence of artifacts and mutants that emit EM or psychic fields. There's just one catch. The RF receiver is clamped to the 30 to 300 MHz range, and some of these things have frequencies set outside of that range. They're impossible to actually use. New Extensible RF Sources begins by extending that frequency range, allowing the player to set frequencies anywhere from 1 to 999 MHz, the maximum the 3-digit display on the receiver can show. This not only lets the receiver pick up those signals that were previously impossible, it creates many new gameplay opportunities. With the expanded frequency range, there's room for more variety in signal sources. In addition to artifacts and mutants that cause radio interference, the mod also adds new sources like electro or Tesla anomalies. And of course the rest of the game will make full use of whatever frequency limit you set, handing out tasks that are randomized throughout the new range. But in addition to all that, NERFS also adds new types of interference. In vanilla, all RF interference sounded more or less the same. For the most part, it all drew from the same random pool of sound effects like static and audio glitches. NERFS keeps the vanilla sound effects for EM interference, but adds a new set of sounds that are specifically and only used for psychic phenomena. Furthermore, if you've ever had a cell phone active near speakers or wireless headphones, you've probably heard the distinctive stutter of GSM cellular interference. Once you know what it sounds like, it's hard to mistake it for anything else. Just about every stalker in the zone carries a networked PDA, and these PDAs are broadcasting cellular signals. With the expanded frequency range, this means you can use the RF receiver to detect nearby stalkers, provided you know their PDA's frequency. It works like this. The first time any stalker comes into RF receiver range, the script assigns that stalker a frequency from one of the 3 major GSM bands that the receiver can pick up. From that point on, that particular stalker will always be on that specific frequency. If you learn the frequency that a stalker's PDA transmits on, you can use it to find them again. You can do this by making sure they're the closest contact and scanning through the frequencies, or you can do it in the field for unknown stalkers by hopping between the major bands the same way. NERFS also makes hopping around like that much easier than it is in the base game by adding mouse wheel support and hotkeys for frequency presets. If you have the latest mod binaries from Demonized, you can use the mouse wheel to quickly scroll through available frequencies instead of spamming the mouse buttons. And if there are particular frequencies you need to keep coming back to quickly, you can configure up to 9 different presets in MCM, each with its own hotkey. If you're deaf or hearing impaired, I don't have to tell you that the RF receiver isn't very friendly to use, you already know it. Thanks to Raven Ascendant, NERFS adds a customizable HUD widget to display signal strength. You can reposition it anywhere on the screen that you want, and pick which colors are used. But NERFS doesn't just improve the RF receiver for players, it's an upgrade for mod developers as well. The extensible part of the name means that all signal source definitions have been moved into easy-to-edit LTX files, allowing anyone to add their own signal sources and sound effects without having to edit the vanilla scripts. The script will load any files that are named in a certain pattern, so all you have to do is add your own file to the right folder, and NERFS will automatically load it. Finally, if you already use add-ons like TV's RF tasks, remote-controlled explosives, or Cover Drave's reworked RF receiver, don't worry. NERFS includes compatibility for their features. There's also an installation option for the Bizarre Interference add-on. Just make sure you load NERFS after the others, and if you're using reworked RF receiver, enable its settings in MCM. If any of these features sound interesting, you should definitely check out the links in the description. I'm a big fan of empowering everyone to play their own way, so nearly every part of this is customizable either in MCM or in the config files. And once again everyone, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.